Level 1, the call. It's 2:47 in the morning. Your phone rings. You don't recognize the number, but you answer anyway. A voice on the other end is calm. Too calm. We have a scene in Riverside. Apartment 4B. Police just cleared it. We need a crew there in 2 hours. You've been unemployed for 6 weeks. You say yes before you even hear the pay. $28 an hour. Cash, no questions. You grab your bag and step outside into air that smells like rain. You have no idea what you're walking into. The company is called Apex Remediation Services. No logo on the van. No uniforms, just a number to call. Your supervisor, a man named Dale, picks you up at 3:15. He doesn't shake your hand. He just says, don't touch anything until I tell you. Don't talk to neighbors. And whatever you see in there, you didn't see it. You're already in. Level 2, apartment 4B. The hallway smells like copper and bleach before you even open the door. Dale hands you a white Tyvek suit. Gloves, respirator, boot covers. Put all of it on, every piece. You pull the suit over your clothes, and suddenly you don't look like yourself anymore. You look like someone who does this for a living. Inside, the apartment is small. 1 bedroom, kitchen to the left, TV still on. There are spray patterns on the wall you've only ever seen in forensic shows. But this isn't a show. This is someone's living room. Dale points to a kit on the floor. ATP spray. Enzyme cleaner. Industrial biohazard bags, thick red, with a symbol you now understand is not just a warning. It's a reminder. Start with the floor, he says. Work from the outside in. You do exactly what you're told. You don't ask what happened here, not because you don't want to know, because some part of you already does. You work until 6 a.m. When you walk outside, the sun is just starting to come up over the rooftops. You take off your gloves and realize your hands are shaking. Dale hands you $224 in cash. Same time Thursday, he asks. You take the money. You say yes. Level 3, you get good at it. A month passes. You've cleaned 12 scenes now. A motel room in East Hartford. A garage in Stockton. A school bathroom nobody told you about until you were already inside. You stop shaking after week 2. You start noticing things professionals notice. How blood pools differently on hardwood than carpet. How trauma to glass creates patterns you can almost read. How the last thing most people touch is something ordinary. A remote control, a coffee mug, a light switch. You stop seeing the death and start seeing the job. Dale calls you reliable. That's the highest compliment he gives anyone. He starts paying you $35 an hour. He starts calling you first. You buy new work boots. You pay off a credit card. You sleep fine. You tell your family you work in property remediation. They don't ask what that means. You don't explain. Level 4, the scene that changes something. It's a Tuesday in November. Dale sends you to a house in the suburbs alone for the first time. 3-bedroom, nice neighborhood. Minivan in the driveway. You do the job, but somewhere around the second hour, you find a child's drawing on the refrigerator. Crayon, stick figures, a sun in the corner. It says "My Family" in uneven letters at the top. You stand in that kitchen for a long time. You don't cry, but something behind your eyes shifts. You bag the drawing by accident with the contaminated materials. You realize it halfway to the van. You stand in the driveway at midnight holding a biohazard bag. You don't go back inside. You put the bag in the truck. You drive away. That drawing stays in your head for weeks. You start drinking a little more on nights you don't work. You tell yourself it's fine. You're a professional. Level 5, the upgrade. Dale introduces you to a man named Victor. Victor doesn't work for Apex. Victor works adjacent to Apex. He's connected to law firms, property managers, private families who want scenes cleaned before the police even finish their paperwork. Off book, Victor says like it's nothing. Faster, quieter, no paper trail. Families don't want records, you understand. The pay is different. Not $35 an hour. $1,500 a scene. Sometimes $3,000. Cashed every time. You do your first off-book job in December. An estate in Westport, Connecticut. You clean a study while a lawyer waits in the hall. Nobody tells you anything about what happened. You don't ask. You're there for 4 hours. You walk out with $200 in an envelope. You sit in your car in their circular driveway. The envelope is heavier than it should be for paper. You think about turning back. Then you think about your rent. You start the car. You drive home. Level 6, what you know now. You've been in rooms that never made the news. You've cleaned scenes where the official story doesn't match the physical evidence. You've seen things staged. You've seen things moved. You've seen things removed before your arrival that were clearly there from the patterns left behind. You don't say anything about any of it, because Victor made something very clear in month 3. You see what's in the room. You clean what's in the room, anything else doesn't exist. You understood, but understanding something and being okay with it are different things. You're making $12,000 a month now. You have a car that isn't embarrassing to drive. You have a savings account with a real number in it. You have nightmares on Wednesdays and Fridays, specifically. You start keeping notes in a journal, not because you plan to do anything with them, just because you need somewhere to put what you know. That journal is the most dangerous thing you own. Level 7, the scene you weren't supposed to survive. Victor calls you on a Thursday at midnight. Scene in Newark. Industrial building. Needs to be cleared by 5 a.m. You've done this before, but when you arrive, there are two other men there you've never seen. They are not cleaners. You can tell by the way they watch you, by the way they stand near the exit, by the way they don't touch anything but keep their hands ready. The scene is large. It takes everything in you to stay focused on the work and not on them. Around 3 a.m., one of them gets a call. He steps outside. You hear him say a name. You keep working, hands steady, breathing controlled. At 4:45, you finish. You're handed an envelope. You drive for 20 minutes before you pull over. You sit in the dark on a side street in New Jersey. Your hands are shaking again. For the first time since week 2. Level 8, the paranoia is real. You stop answering Victor's calls for 1 week. He doesn't chase you. That scares you more than if he had. You go back to working with Dale. Legitimate jobs, documented work, taxed income. But you keep looking over your shoulder at scenes now. Every unmarked van you see on the highway becomes a question. Every unknown number is a threat. You go back through your journal. 3 names, 4 locations. 2 scenes that never appeared in any public record. You don't know what to do with what you know. Going to the police means explaining why you were there. Staying quiet means staying complicit. You tear the journal apart. You flush the pieces. You sit in your bathroom at 4 a.m. and tell yourself you're being paranoid. But paranoia and pattern recognition look the same from the inside. Level 9, the decision. Victor calls again. It's been 3 weeks. This time, he doesn't give you a job. He gives you a warning. You've been smart, he says. Stay smart. The call is 43 seconds. You record it. You don't know why. You save it to a cloud account under a name that isn't yours. You go to work the next night with Dale. A standard scene, a studio apartment, clean job. You suit up, you work, you do it right. But at some point between the first hour and the second, standing alone in someone's emptied space, you realize something. You're not the same person who answered that phone call 14 months ago. That person was broke and scared and didn't know what blood smelled like. You know too much now, and the people who let you know it, they know you know it. There is no clean exit from this work. Not the above-ground part, and definitely not the part below it. Level 10, the cycle. It's 2:47 in the morning. Your phone rings. Different number, same dead calm voice. We have a scene. We need someone tonight. You're sitting in the dark. You've been waiting for this call or dreading it. You're no longer sure which. You think about the journal you destroyed, the recording you kept, the drawing on the refrigerator you never stopped seeing. You think about the $11,400 sitting in your account, about the men who stood near the exit in Newark, about Dale, who never asked questions and lived fine, about Victor, who knows your name, about the version of you that existed before apartment 4B. The phone is still ringing. 5 seconds. You already know what you're going to do. The real horror isn't the scenes. It's not the blood or the biohazard bags, or what the patterns on the walls tell you. The real horror is this. You're good at it. You need it. And somewhere between level 1 and level 10. You stop trying to get out. You answer the phone. I'll be there in 20 minutes. The cycle continues.